So a leftist paid me on Subscribestar and said that out of all the right-wingers, they find me to be the most tolerable. And while I am flattered, I would suggest you go watch the Hodge Twins. Because if you're a left-leaning person, you might actually find them more entertaining and more tolerable than I am. You get to open your mind. See, I'm the gateway drug to right-winginess. You watch my channel, and then you watch the Hodge Twins, and from there you start watching Tim Pool, and from there you go to Crowd. Oh my God, straight into the Nazis. Anyway, they also asked me to prove that I'm a centrist. I need to prove it. Because I usually mention it's like I'm a centrist. And they said, are there anything that the right-wingers do which annoy you? And show me an example where right-wingers can publish articles that you find ridiculous. Okay, I mean, it didn't take much. I usually don't go for that because, I mean, you can just watch CNN if you want to see how they debunk the right. But yeah, no, there's a lot of them. It's just that I don't think they're changing society or anything like that. I just don't think it influences my way of life or tries to push my way of life into a negative way, which is why I usually just ignore these articles. And one of them that I remember from last year, it was actually quite a big thing among the right, is that young people can be intimidated by social media. Messages that use periods, yes, periods, since they apparently signal anger, linguists say. And the interesting part is that it's true. It's true, but the way the media talked about it, sensationalized it, and made it seem like young people are snowflakes. In reality, even when the left gets offended, it's not because they're snowflakes. It's because that gives them power. Like the ideology of progressives right now can be summed up to the strong must serve the weak. So in order to get servants, in order to benefit, you need to show that you are weak. If you are strong, then you become a servant. No one wants to be a servant. So you have progressive people on Twitter or on universities claiming that they're offended so that they are viewed as weak and powerless, so that the strong, which is the university dean, the university professors, or the Twitter Trust and Safety, intervenes on their behalf. They become their servants to mop away the opposition, right? So that is the reason that it looks as if left-leaning people are eternally offended. They don't genuinely get offended. Like, you can't see what's in their soul. You can't see if the person is actually offended, or is it more like, they said a word, now I can get them banned from Twitter. That gives me power over that other person. Reminds me when I was playing League of Legends and a person that I was arguing with types N and then types I and goes with G, and I'm already like, yes, say it, give me power over you. An entire history of America is leading to this very moment that I now have the power to get you banned from League of Legends. And then he says Nigeria, and I felt so depowered. Like, never in my life have I felt so weak, because he took away that power from me. Which was the ability to get him banned. But he went with a different word, and all of a sudden, from the mighty, all-powerful God V, which had the terms of service on his side, which had the power to bully another human, I was, again, a weak, pathetic guy behind the keyboard, doing absolutely nothing but just taking it. Anyway, right, that's another story. I need to make a video about that because it's very funny. Right, let's go to the matter at hand. The period isn't even that, all right? Like, it's not even that. What it is the fact that when you communicate via text, you lose the inflection in the person's voice, you lose the body language, so you don't know what the other person is communicating. So, for example, if someone says, leave me alone, all right? You don't know if the person says it in a playful way or if they're serious. So if they would say, leave me alone, and they put the smiley face, well, they're being playful. But if they say, leave me alone, and they put a dot, it means something else entirely. It's kind of like when you're writing with all caps, like, for example, if you say, buy some groceries right now, in text, I don't think I need to tell people, but this means that the person is screaming, right? But if you get to see it in the real world, we say like we are open, and you have this sign on a door. It doesn't mean that they're shouting. It just means that they're trying to be more clear, so they're writing in caps. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, like that there is a entire different code, I guess, with how people speak online that the older generation might not know about. So someone might go online and they might type in all caps, and people will think that they're being toxic because they're shouting, or they might use period as they're writing with proper grammar, and people might think that. But here's the thing, right? It takes, I think, like a couple of days for people to realize how they're supposed to talk and what are emojis and what emojis to use and how to convey language, right? So while it is possible, I guess, for someone to accidentally offend someone else online because they don't understand the correct speak, it's going to be corrected right away. I mean, the other person is just going to say, it's like, hey, what you're doing is shouting, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't know. And also the people getting offended, right? Like if I'm in a chat room and, or if I'm on Twitter and someone messages me with all caps, I would ask him, like, why are you talking in all caps? And they'll be like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. I mean, it's something that's fixed right away, so it's not that people get intimidated or anything like that. It's just an interesting observation that with the internet and with instant messaging, a couple of rules have changed when it comes to grammar. Certain things that you do offline have differences than online. But that doesn't mean that the young people are intimidated by social media messages. No, they're not intimidated. They just created, I guess, different, I can't even say it a lexicon, but like different rules of engagement, different rules of politeness. For example, this also happened with the phone. This is very interesting. Like for an American, when you pick up the phone, you say, hello, who is this? But in Germany, you're actually supposed to pick up the phone and say, hello, ich bin wie aus Romania, with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? I mean, you know, it's different rules, I suppose, which exist in different countries. I wonder if in Japan, for example, the period also exists, the dreaded period. So what I'm going with this is that, yeah, this blew up over a lot of right-wing media. I think even Steven Crowder talked about it, and a lot of other newspapers were like, oh, look how weak the new generation of people are. Period scared them. Like, no. Okay, first of all, I don't think the new generation is weak. It's just they realized that if they cry, they get what they want. So it's kind of like a child that cries and mommy and daddy comes in the room and fixes whatever problem exists. That child isn't weak because he is crying. He is crying because he knows he's going to get his way. Even though from the outside it looks, oh my God, you know, this is such a weak child. I mean, he just managed to spill over milk and now he is crying. He is crying because he knows mommy is going to come up and clean up the milk. So with this, yeah, it's not even that. Like we're not even at that point. It's just that the rules have changed. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.